When you look at Donald Trump and how the Democrats went after him, you do understand that the Democrats are no longer in a position to say anything, right? You can talk till the cows come home. You're whistling into the wind. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say right now.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because, once we have the Red Cup, we're about to spill some truth. And today I wanted to come on and talk about the pardon that's sending shockwaves through the liberal media, okay? Some are for it, some are against it. Some are okay with him giving his son, a pardon because it's his son, like The View. And others don't like it at all because it gives credence to what Donald Trump was saying about the DOJ. Well, one of those voices is Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith went off. And when I tell you he went off, he went off. He let Joe Biden have it. Here we go.
Any decent father would do that. Never mind the business dealings that was going on in Ukraine and China and other places. While you were vice president under the Obama administration, I'm not talking about that. This is not a complaint about Hunter Biden getting off. I said weeks ago, you damn right you should let him off. He's your son. And he's a recovering addict. And he's battled those demons for years. And the fact that you let your son off, I totally understand. Donald Trump would have let his son off. Anybody would have. Or at least most people. I understand that. That's not the issue, sir. The issue, and why I say you're full of it, is because of the excuse you gave. A simple statement. That's my son. I have the power to pardon him, to grant him clemency, whatever. That's what I'm doing. Y'all kick rocks. That'd have been good enough for me. That's your son. That's your son. That's your flesh and blood. That's your child. And as you pointed out, he's battled a lot of demons. He's gone through a lot. I get it. But what's all of that other stuff you said about?
See, Stephen A., we do get it, right? We understand when it comes from a family perspective, right? He's on drugs. He's doing all this wild stuff and other stuff. But he's doing all of this and he's going through an addiction, yada, 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 yada. We understand all of that, right? But when it comes to Joe Biden, he is the president of the United States. And yes, he's held at a different standard. You guys remember everything going on with the police? What did you guys say? They are held at a different standard. They can't do the same things that regular people do. Well, guess what? Joe Biden and his family have to be held to a certain standard. And Joe Biden knew exactly what was going on with his son.
You highlighting the transgressions and talking about how, oh my goodness, if it were anybody else, it would not have been considered or classified as a felony. If it was somebody else, they would have got off. Well, you ain't somebody else. You were the vice president.
Tell it.
And obviously, considering the crimes that he was being accused of, I understand the gun charge, I understand tax charges, but the things that they were investigating in terms of his dealings with Ukraine, his dealings with China, and whatever purported money was funneled to the Biden family,
that they don't want to talk about, Whoopi and Sonny Holston. They don't want to talk about the crime family that the Bidens are and the money that they got that got funneled through Hunter Biden. That's the reason really why Joe Biden gave him that pardon. Like that is the main factor. We're sitting here talking about all this addiction and that's my son. No, Joe Biden knew he got his son into that nonsense because that's what Joe Biden used the vice president's office for. But I digress.
Considering all of those things, those are valid things that warrant an investigation. And again, if you don't want it investigated and you want to let him off, President Biden, no problem. Just say that. That's my son. That's my son. That ain't what you said.
Nope.
You tried to highlight how innocent he is. Damn near called him a paragon of virtue. But what did you do to Donald Trump? See, we want to sit up here and everybody was afraid to talk about it leading up to the election. Or even when we were willing to talk about it, we had to dance the dance. We had to go around, up the block, around the damn corner, come right back around and vaguely get into stuff.
That's because the liberal woke media went after anyone that wanted to tell the truth about the Hunter Biden laptops. That is a fact, right? But at the end of the day, it is a fact that Hunter Biden has some egregious things involving women, children, and drugs on that laptop. And he was involved in bad business dealings against the United States interests when Joe Biden was a vice president. Nobody can talk about any of that. And we had to consistently talk about Donald Trump. But we can't talk about what's going on in the Biden family.
Point out the 34 felony convictions. We had to talk about the 2 impeachments. We had to talk about the abundance of allegations that took place, including an election fall and citing an insurrection and all of this other stuff. We had to talk about all of that. But conveniently, it was coming down the pike like a damn tsunami when you knew you were going to have to run against them.
Yep.
You didn't talk about this then.
Of course.
A matter of fact, you specifically said you wouldn't pardon your son before the election. You're announcing it now that we know that Donald Trump is coming in and about to be sworn in as the 47th president. You were intending to do this all along, which again is no problem, but it doesn't make you any less full of it. Because when you look at Donald Trump and how the Democrats went after him, you do understand that the Democrats are no longer in a position to say anything, right? You can.
Oh, they definitely understand that. They definitely understand it. This is the reason why they're having the meltdown that they're having, right? Because at the end of the day, you could say all you want about Trump and 34 convictions, all right? Convictions involving bookkeeping and, okay. So at the end of the day, you can say whatever you want, but Joe Biden knew what was coming down the pike, just like he said. And he didn't want to talk about it. He lied to the American public and said that, hey, you know, it's the rule of law. My son's not above it. I'm not above it. So he's going to take what he takes. He lied the whole time.
You can talk till the cows come home. You're whistling into the wind. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say right now. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your party. Because when you pardon your son, going back on your word, telling the American people there was no way that you were going to pardon him when everybody and their grandmama knew you were lying but didn't hold you accountable for it. And now you've confirmed what people believed, that you were probably going to be lying about that very thing that you said you wouldn't do for your son. All you had to do was say, he's my son. I can't let him go to jail. What's the matter with y'all? Do I got to act like Dana Carvey from Saturday Night Live? And another thing, and by the way,
he's exactly correct. All right. Yeah. He knew he was going to pardon him. That's why, like, I didn't understand why people were asking Donald Trump. And even when they asked Donald Trump said the father is going to pardon him because we all knew it. All right. We all knew what was on Hunter Biden's laptop. If you look at the CBS reporter that was fired for exclusively having the contents that was on that laptop and talking about it and sharing it. A lot of it leaked online. So to say that Hunter Biden is so innocent and he did nothing wrong and he's just an addict and all this other stuff at like 55, it's just asinine. Hunter Biden did a whole lot. Okay. And he should have paid for his crimes. However, he has something that most Americans don't have. And that's a father who is and has been the president of the United States. It is what it is.
All you had to do was say, that's my son. I'm not sending him to jail. I have the power to pardon him and to bring him home with me when I walk away from the White House, ending my political career. I'm taking my son home with me. Everybody would understand that. That wasn't good enough for you. It wasn't good enough for you. Instead, you have to try to come across like he was victimized because of you, like you're so innocent, like you're such a paragon of virtue. And as a result, now you've brought more skepticism in the direction of the Democratic Party. Why? Because you show you're no different than the other side, which you were accusing of everything.
That is a correct statement. Love
Y'all went after Donald Trump for everything but tying his shoelaces on the right way. You raked him through the coals.
Mm-hmm.
You threw him under the bus. You did everything to him. And I'm in no way trying to act like he's some innocent bystander in all of this. But when the word hypocrisy comes up, there's no escaping it.
They did everything they could to Donald Trump. I mean, anything that they could. And now you get to do whatever you want to do. That makes absolutely no sense. So why is it a different set of rules for the Democratic Party? Oh, well, let's just say that Hunter Biden is being sought after because he's my son. You're not innocent. Not innocent by far. But everybody wants to make it like Joe Biden is just such this sweet guy. You mean the same guy who did the eulogy for the KKK member? That guy? That guy who did not want to desegregate schools and was against busing? That guy? That guy that the CBS reporter that found Hunter Biden's laptop and said that his son and him explicitly used the N-word over and over and over again, the literal sense of the word? That guy? He's so innocent. Right.
There's no escaping it. And that's only one problem with the Democratic Party.
All right, you guys. So you just heard what Stephen A had to say, and Stephen A was spot on. And you heard a little bit of my commentary, but I wanted to give my thoughts. So here it is. Let's pour it. Stephen A is 100% correct, and everything he said was spot on because Joe Biden is the president of the United States, regardless if I voted for him and regardless if I agree with his policies. He has the power to pardon his son. He wanted to pardon his son. Fine, pardon him. I wouldn't have. I think a lot of the stuff he's done is egregious. I think what's on those laptops are egregious. But again, I am not the president of the United States, and the president has that power, and he decided to use it. So, okay, well, fine. But you didn't have to lie to the American people. You didn't have to lie to your supporters. And we all knew you were going to get your son off. It's because of those deals that he was doing in Ukraine. And ironically, all of our money has been going to Ukraine. Go figure. But at the end of the day, I am happy to see that at least some of the liberal media can call it out and call it down the line. He's full of it. He's definitely full of it. And I agree with Stephen A. I just wish Stephen A would come on to the conservative side because, sir, you talk very conservative and you're actually holding people accountable. That's not a liberal trait nowadays, but I digress. I really thought Stephen A really spoke on this matter well, and I hope he continues to hold the Democrat Party accountable. As he should, as we all should. I could be wrong. So you guys let me know. Get down in the comments and let me know what you thought of Stephen A's outburst of him saying that Joe Biden is definitely full of it. And let me know if you agree with Stephen A, like I agree with Stephen A. And let me know if you disagree with Stephen A and why you would disagree with Stephen A. Is it because you think Joe Biden and Hunter Biden are just innocent, sweet people that, are just being targeted because of Donald Trump? Do you have Trump derangement? Let me know. It's your girl, Mika. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. I'm out.